Joining us now, I'm pleased to say, is Glen Goodman. He is author of the book, The Crypto Trader. Glen, good to see you again. Obviously, a lot already has happened in terms of upside for Bitcoin in anticipation of spot ETF approval. So how much is already in the price? How much further do you think this rally could go?
Well, your guy James there is on record saying he thinks that there's about a 90% chance of approval, at least of some of the ETFs. And quite frankly, it's not just him. He's done really well. He's come up with a lot of the intelligence on this whole thing, but pretty much everyone is bought into this idea that the ETFs are coming. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to it being priced in, I'd say it's pretty fully priced in, probably. And when you look actually at the futures funding rates on various crypto exchanges like Binance and so on, you see that there are quite frothy levels. A lot of people are borrowing a lot of money in order to buy Bitcoin. So if it did start falling, you could get that kind of domino effect where accounts start getting liquidated because people have overstretched themselves on the old leverage. So this is what worries me, is that it feels like a bit of a lose-lose situation, as in if you do get ETF approval, then perhaps all of that is already priced in. And if, God forbid, you don't get ETF approval, then who knows?
Yeah, do you have a sense of how far Bitcoin could drop if you don't get that approval? It's worth talking about because it's been it's been a foregone conclusion by the market standards, but Gary Gensler has not been shy about cracking down on this industry.
Absolutely. That's the one factor I think that people are forgetting here, because we're hearing so many positive signs, like Cathie Wood, who you had on just the other day, talking about how there have been sort of behind closed doors discussions over the holiday period between SEC officials and, asking all kinds of technical questions, which makes it sound like they're about to dot the I's and cross the T's. But Gary Gensler, we know, he never has anything good to say about crypto, does he? So he is the unknown factor in all this. And frankly, he is the boss. So if he suddenly decides, no, it's not good enough, we need more things done. We need, for example, like the guy from BitGo recently said, maybe they will insist on separating custody and exchanges in a very, very deliberate way. You know, something like that. There could be all kinds of factors that could just delay this. And if we get the impression from them that the delay is open-ended, as opposed to just, we just want a few final things done, then it could be really bad. And you asked me for how far the Bitcoin price could fall. I mean, we know from past experience, when the Bitcoin price falls, sometimes it really falls in ways that stock markets very, very rarely do. You know, absolutely terrifying falls that could wipe out, I sound awful, don't I? But it could wipe out, weeks, even months of gains. So what I've done, I'll tell you what I'm doing, is I'm lightening up a bit. I've been long for quite a while now, following this trend all the way up. I'm lightening up. I'm not selling all my stuff, because, quite frankly, this is just a theory, and maybe the price will continue rising as more and more people get excited about the ETF approval, assuming it is approved. But, just to be on the safe side, I'm kind of thinking the risk-reward is not looking so great at this level, so that's why I've lightened up my holdings.
Well, Glen, it's interesting because what you're saying runs counter to what many people are telling us on this program, who are very excited about what a spot ETF ultimately could mean. And obviously, when we talk about crypto, most of these tokens don't trade on anything fundamental. They maybe latch on to one narrative, like, say, a spot ETF getting approved. So in the absence of that, what other catalysts do you see for 2024 that could be supportive or not to prices across the board?
Well, I should just make the point. I'm talking short-term time scale here when I talk about lightening up. It's because, as we know, Bitcoin could fall like 25% or something and barely break a sweat, and then it could go all the way back up and further. So that's the kind of thing Bitcoin does. And because I'd rather not lose 25% or whatever, that's why I'm lightening up. But for the long term, Bitcoin ETF approval is fantastic news. You've talked about it loads on Bloomberg, so I won't bore you too much with it. But you get the idea. It's a fantastic story for the longer term. Now, other drivers for this coming year, gaming is pretty significant. AI is pretty significant. Decentralized social media is still one to look out for, I think, because it feels like the social media space is still trying to find its feet again after the whole kind of Twitter, lots of people hating Elon Musk, setting up Threads and Blue Sky and all these other platforms. It feels like there could still be space for a really major decentralized decentralized social media platform. So that's something exciting. There are lots of narratives that are good looking ahead, but frankly, the ETF approval is the best narrative of all.
Glen Goodman, the author of The Crypto Trader, we thank you so much for your time.